Hey guys, what's happening? It's good to have you here. I'm Jack from Phantasmal Paranormal. If you're new here, hi, welcome. And if you are returning, it's good to have you back, as always. But just very quickly, I just want to put this out there to you guys that I have spoken quite a bit on a new book which I've got coming out, which I have a few working titles, and I think I'm pretty settled on one. I'm not going to share anything just yet. But it's going to be released on paperback and it will also be available to you in digital format. So more details will be released, but when I'm going to put the book out there, which I'm hoping it will be by the end of this year. I'm hoping so, and so I will give you guys more details here and also update you on my social media if you follow me there on Instagram. And also, you can either email me for more additional info in case I probably forget because I'm pretty useless when it comes to social media and community posts. Sorry. But anyway, without further ado, let's get straight on with this new video. Anyway, let's crack on with this thing. Stop looking at it. Stop looking at it. Okay, just please stop looking at it. We all got blemishes and imperfections. What are you going to do? But anyway, this video has been something I've been wanting to do for a little while. And this subject is one that I get approached about from people through email, either through social media or even through comments. I get the odd message or comment that says, would you be able to contact my loved one? Would you be able to contact my friend, my mum, my dad, brother, sister, nephew, whatever? And, you know, we've all lost important people in our lives. I've already lost quite a few at the age of 27. Most importantly being my dad, who passed away when I was 25, not that long ago, in September of 2021. So relatively recently, it's not even been 2 years yet. And that was the hardest loss I've ever had to deal with in my lifetime. It's been insanely difficult, and I'm at this stage where I'm just sort of, I'm bearing with it. I can go through life, but it is hard. I miss him and I love him. And I really truly do understand that people want to communicate with their loved ones. They want to try, or they want to ask somebody like myself to contact their loved ones. And I can completely get where people are coming from. I totally understand. Even you get to the point sometimes where people may be a little bit desperate, or they may be just they need some answers, they need that closure, mostly in some sense, because suddenly there's this important person, this important figure in your life that they're there all the time, and then suddenly when they're not there, it's a massive shock to your system and a blow to your life, which leaves a massive hole in your life and in your heart. It is insanely difficult to deal with, and grief is extremely hard. And you would think maybe for somebody like me who does this stuff within the paranormal spirit communication such that it would make almost grieving easier. It doesn't. I experienced grief just the same as anybody else would. And from what you saw through those videos, for what you saw, just after Dad died, I was doing relatively well. But in fact, I wasn't. Behind the scenes, I was crumbling. And I was very open and honest about that much later on. But the whole grief is an insane thing to deal with. Like you don't ever stop grieving. I don't believe you get to the point where you just don't grieve anymore. I think you always continuously grieve because you're always going to miss that important person who was in your life that you loved and you respected, adored, maybe cared for so much. So I understand. So when it comes to spirit communication, on that side of things, I sometimes get asked, could you please contact my loved one? Could you contact my dad, mother, brother, whoever? And often I say to them, I could, yes, but here's a few things you need to understand. I cannot guarantee that is your loved one or your friend. I cannot guarantee you that. It's just the same as I tell you all the time on YouTube. We can't prove who or what we're communicating with. We don't even know that spirits are even dead people or ghosts, specters, whatever you want to call them. We can't prove that they're dead. At this point, we don't have a clue what they are. All I can tell you is that something is definitely communicating for sure. Otherwise, I wouldn't keep on doing this. Does spirit communication happen all the time? No, it doesn't, unfortunately. I wish it happened all the time, that'd be brilliant, but it doesn't. And I have done a few spirit box sessions where I have tried for communication, possibly with my dad. But here's the thing about that. That's not happened all the time. It's only happened a very small amount of times. And you would hope that maybe your loved one would want to communicate with you all the time, or communicate with you in general, has my dad communicated with me through past videos which I've shown you in sessions? I like to think so, I like to hope so, but again, I can't prove that is him who's talking. How do you know? It might not be a spirit just impersonating my dad, or whatever. But is it? I don't think so, but again, I don't know. It's only guesswork, or speculation if you like. So these are things which I say to people, you have to bear this in mind. Yes, I could do this for you. I could do a spirit box session for you, for your friend, loved one, whoever, but there is no guarantee. I mean, what's to say they would even come to me? Why would they come to a complete and utter stranger? I really can't see that happening. But whereas I say, look, I may not do this for you, but something you can do is you can do it for yourself. So I would often advise them, why don't you get yourself a PSP-7, for example, and just a speaker to go with it? And you can try this for yourself. It's not difficult. Like what I do here, it's not difficult. It's very, very easy. Anybody can pick this up and do it. And some people will tell you there's the whole connection thing, you have to build it over years, blah, blah, blah. And honestly, no, you can just pick up a Spirit Box radio and get started immediately. And sometimes it can be a little bit scary, because I've heard people sometimes don't want to try it themselves because they're afraid of the unknown, basically. And it will often come with, I don't want to start communicating with spirits because I don't know what's going to come out, if it could be demons, bad entities, or whatever. Well, again, you don't even know if they're real either. Because you can't force, you can't guarantee or control who or what comes through. This is the important thing which has to be mentioned. Because you don't know what's communicating, you can't prove or disprove what the substance of those voices and communication is. This is the very difficult, frustrating bit. But I completely understand why people would be apprehensive, but also there's people who want to dive into it. Like I always encourage people that what I do here isn't difficult. You can dive straight in and you can do this yourself. But with spirit communication, on the odd occasion I have done spirit box sessions on my dad, and I have gotten things such as me and my dad, we had code words. We had 2 specific code words when before he died. So I would ask for them. Sometimes I've gotten them, sometimes I've gotten one of the words, or maybe I've got the other, or maybe I've got both of the words. And there's one clip which is here on YouTube, and I get both of those words. And so I'm like, okay, maybe there truly is. Maybe you truly can. I'm not sure.
Anybody hear me? Talking? How many spirits are here? Richard? It's my dad's name. Is my father here? Richard Green? Is Daddy here? I love you, Dad. Miss you. I was at your house. I was outside your house yesterday. It's a bit sad seeing the house, but are you okay? Are you alright wherever you are, Dad? Love you, Dad. Miss.
And you have important things like even names mentioned, maybe the name of your loved one or friend. These things can happen. Do you specifically know if you get maybe the name Michael and you're trying to communicate with a Michael? How do you know it's not another Michael? Things like this. These are the frustrating things which bleed into your head because you really want to believe so wholeheartedly that is your loved one, the person that you want to connect with. But that's the horrible bit, you can't prove it, which is insanely frustrating, and it can be very devastating. But here's the thing, even if you try for contact, let's just say you try to do this yourself, don't be disheartened if you don't get communication. even not specifically with maybe the person you're trying to communicate with communication in general, it doesn't happen all the time. I could maybe do, say, in a week, 7 sessions in a week, and I may get nothing in those 7 sessions in a week. Or maybe there may just be one of the days where I get something or hit something. And some people will say, is radio contamination, is just bleed throughs of broadcasts and stuff, which yes, that can happen. But all I can tell you is that something answers me back sometimes. Something answers my questions. Something says yes and no to me. Sometimes they say more, say phrases, or you get full sentences. Sometimes, rarely. These things can happen. So something is happening which I think goes beyond science, it goes beyond explanation. These things happen. All I can do for all you guys and for myself is that I can only hope. I hope that my dad is around, maybe even other relatives like my step-granddad. You know, friends even. I've lost friends in my lifetime. All I can hope for is maybe they are still around to some degree. Maybe they're even aware of what I do. But then again, we don't know what an afterlife, if there is one, what it consists of, or how it works. How does spirit communication work? How does spirit communication work in general? Is it manipulation of sound? Well, that's the most commonly, widely believed theory, but again, it is just that. It's just a theory at the minute. It is not proven by any stretch of the imagination, despite what some tell you. Looking at you, Mr. Huff. If you are unsure, you know, my email address is always open, which is phantasmaparanormal@yahoo.com, or you can find me on Instagram at Captain Jack Green. You can find me there, you can DM me, you can email me if you're unsure about, even if you want to start spirit communication in general, or to communicate with a loved one and so on. You know, I will give the best advice I possibly can, or you can just take this video. But the most important thing is, if you want to try, do it yourself. Because anybody can do what I do here. I am just one of many. I'm just a guy who is interested in the paranormal, who loves this stuff, and who wants to get my thoughts, ideas, and opinions out there to you, because maybe you may have thought the same, or it might help you, and show my Spirit Box sessions. That's been the whole point over these last nearly 5 years. For me, it's a true benefit to life. I can't imagine life not doing this. But go forward, get yourself something like a PSP-7 just to start off with. Or even I've shown ways you can do spirit communication starting off with a manual scan radio if you really want to, if maybe that's a cheaper option for you. There's many ways you can do it. But the thing is, when it comes to communicating with loved ones, only you would have that information. I don't know anything about your loved one or your friend. So if they're going to be with anybody, if they are there, if spirits are going to be with anybody, your loved ones, they're going to be with you. They ain't going to be here with me. Maybe they might be, but then again, how do you send your specific spirit to me to communicate? Again, I have no idea either. I'm sorry. I wish I could have more answers for people out there. I truly wish I could give you the answers that you want, mostly because I want those answers myself. So I hope maybe this video can help you in some way. Again, if you have any questions or anything you want to say to me personally that you maybe don't want to put in the comments, again, at Captain Jack Green on Instagram, or you can email me at phantasmaparanormal@yahoo.com. Thank you very much for watching this video. Stay well, stay healthy, stay out of trouble, and I'll see you all later on in the very next video. So take care. Bye-bye, everybody.